Okay, I have two more things I want to talk about. They're not questions. They're just like topics that I wanted to bring up on my own. The first one is I wrote down on my notes here, ethics of clickbait. Clickbait meaning like when I'm making this podcast and I put out a title or a thumbnail that's like risque or controversial in some kind of way in order to get people in. I want to talk about the ethics of that. And I'm still in a position where I don't know how to navigate this like correctly because I'm pretty new at like the marketing things of my podcast. But something interesting I noticed lately was that I just recently put out a video about Jordan Peterson, and I originally titled the video why this is like totally clickbait exaggeration of the video, but I titled the video why everybody hates Jordan Peterson. And I don't know, I thought it would pique people's interest. And I realized later that this was totally clickbait and totally an exaggeration of what the video was about. It wasn't a total exaggeration because the main content of the clip was about how he was at risk of losing his license and how I disagreed with that. And I thought that he was still a great public figure for psychology, regardless of his political opinions, you know? And I talked about how I had such a positive impact on that. So it's like, I wasn't totally lying. Like I was talking about the public disdain for Jordan Peterson, but I phrased it in a way that was like, everybody hates him. And what I noticed, which was interesting, was that people were commenting in the comment section, like, what do you mean everybody hates him? Like, he's so loved. What's wrong with you? And like, so after a while, I realized like, oh shit, like my title just delivered the opposite of what I was trying to say, because probably some people saw the title and didn't even listen to the video. So it really got me thinking about the ethics of clickbait. I don't have an answer to that, but it's something I'm currently thinking about. What are the ethics of clickbait? You know what I mean? Like, is it unethical to exaggerate about something in your title if the message of the video is something positive? I don't really know the answer to that. And I think that's like a philosophical question. Like, so for example, I mean, let's just use politics, for example. It happens in politics all the time. Both sides of politics, like, they kind of do what's called a smear campaign. They make exaggerated articles about each other in order to win the election. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if whoever is trying to win the election has positive goals in mind for society, is it technically evil to do a smear campaign? You know, smear campaign is kind of like clickbait in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? Or it's something I've always thought about, and I don't really know the answer to that. Like, if the message and the intent behind the clickbait is to do something positive for society, is the clickbait inherently a bad thing? Funny example, I'm also writing a bit about this in comedy as well. Like, what if the Holy Bible had like a picture of tits on the cover and just to draw people's attention, right? And like, but what if the message or the point of the Bible was to try to spread good for society? Would that be evil? Like, would it be evil to use clickbait to draw people in to tell them something else? I don't know. So it really got me thinking, and it got me, like, I just naturally did those clickbaity titles because I thought that's just what you did. Like, I saw everybody doing it. But then, like, once I got that reaction, it really started to make me think, like, is that just because I've said this before in the last podcast too, just because this is a normal behavior, is it the correct behavior? Is it an ethical behavior? So it's something I want to think about. And I think going forward, I'm going to try to be more honest and less exaggerated in the thumbnails. I mean, I can't guarantee that'll always be the case, because unfortunately, I think if you want to do this to a degree, you do have to like play by the rules of the game in a way. But I do feel weird about it sometimes. And I do sometimes I'm really not sure if that's the right thing to do. So I just kind of wanted to like say I'm sorry to anybody who has been upset about that. It is something I'm thinking about, and I'm not just doing it like without feeling a certain kind of way about it, you know? So it's something I'm going to think about more. And I'd be curious to know what are your opinions on that? Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think clickbait is evil? should public figures do their best to have honest titles, or are they just going to get nowhere by doing that? You know what I mean? Like, do they have to play the game and be a little evil in order to accomplish the greater good? I don't know. It's something I thought about. All right, one more topic I did want to talk about with you guys.